Good morning, students. Chapter 4, Embedded Operating System and Internals and Design and Principles. Embedded system refer to use the electronic and software within a product that is designed to perform a dedicated function. It is called operating system. In many cases, embedded systems are part of the larger system or product. Anti-lock braking system in a car would be an example. Many example of the operating system like Windows 10, 8, it is a operating system. This is a possible organization of the embedded system, and it is a combination of processor, memory, and converters, sensors, actuators, and other peripherals device. And also it is consist of hardware and software as well as the peripherals device. Processor is a main part of the system, and this is software, and A to D converter and D to D converter is a peripheral devices, and it use according to requirement, and sensor actuator also use according to requirement. Characteristics of the embedded operating systems must be real-time operation, reacting operation, input output device flexibility, and direct use the interrupts. Next is developing an embedded operating system. Basically, two general purpose: take an existing OS and adapt it for the embedded applications. Any application is used. Design and implement an OS intended solely for embedded use. Adapting an existing OS. An existing commercial OS can be used for the embedded system by adding real-time capability, streamlining operation, adding necessary functionality. It is a main advantage is familiar interfacing, and disadvantage is not optimizes for real-time and embedded applications. Purpose: propose build embedded OS. Typical characteristics include fast and lightweight process or thread switches, scheduling policies, real time and dispatcher module is part of the scheduler. Must be small size, and next is respond to external interrupt quickly. Also minimize the intervals during which interrupt and disable. Provides fixed or variable size partially for memory management. Provide special sequential file that can accumulate data at the fast rate. Two examples are Econ and TinyOS. These are operating system of the embedded system. Timing constraints. To deal within the timing constraint and canal. Provide bounded execution time for the primitives. Maintains a real-time clocks. Support real-time. Provide primitive to the delay processing, etc. Linux also operating system, a version of Linux running in the embedded system. An embedded Linux distributed version of Linux to be customized for the size and hardware constraint of the embedded system. Includes software packages that support a variety of the services and applications on those devices. An embedded Linux kernel will be smaller than ordinary Linux kernel. Cross compiler, embedded Linux file systems. These are commands. Advantage of the embedded Linux. Advantage using Linux on basis of the embedded OS include the following: vendor independence, variety hardware supports. In vendor independence, the platform provided not dependent on the particular vendor to provide needed feature and meet deadline for the development. Varied hardware support. Linux support a wide range of the processor architecture and peripheral device, make it suitable to virtually any embedded system. Suppose that we want the one extra peripheral device easily connect and extended. Low cost, the use of Linux minimize cost, development and training. Open source, open to use, open source Linux provides all the advantage of the open software. Android also operating system. An embedded OS based on the Linux kernel, more of the platform OS that can support a variety of applications that vary from one platform to next. Focus on the Android lines, the vertical integration of the Linux kernel and Android user space component. Many embedded Linux developers do not consider Android to be a instance of the embedded Linux. TinyOS also an example of the operating system, and streaming, and these are features, not a real-time OS. There is no kernel, there are no process. OS does not have memory allocation system, interrupt and execution handling and dependent on the peripheral, etc. Typical wireless sensor network topology: wired link and wireless link. This is an internet host, base station, yes, sensors, all are sensors, and it's connected through the wireless link. Tiny walls, tiny components. Tiny is the operating system. These are components. Component task cannot be. Commands, these are commands. Commands are the non-blocking request, a task or a issue. A command does not block, spin, wait, reply from the lower level components, etc. Summary: embedded system. Characteristics of embedded operating system: adapting an existing commercial operating system. Second one is purpose built embedded operating system. Embedded Linux based operating system. Kernel size, completion, embedded Linux file system. Advantage of the embedded Linux. Android, TinyOS, it is mainly work on wireless network. These are wireless sensor networks. Thank you.